my name is Mari Cruz, and I'm going to be teaching this group of teenagers about the influenza virus. And we're going to start with introduction.
Well, my name is Daniel. Eric.
Isaac.
Richard.
Jackie.
Okay, we're going to be doing a PowerPoint presentation about the flu. Okay, so what is the flu? The flu is a respiratory illness caused by the influenza virus. The flu is not the same as a cold, although they share many of the same symptoms. The cold is caused by a different virus, and it tends to have milder symptoms than the flu. Colds are also less likely to cause serious complications. How the flu affects our bodies. When the influenza virus gets into the body, it moves into the respiratory tract, so you breathe it in. Okay, once there, it binds to the surface of cells. The virus then opens and releases its genetic information, which is the RNA, into the cell's nucleus. The nucleus is where the cell's genetic information, the DNA and the RNA is stored. The virus replicates or copies itself, and it takes over the function of the cell. The copies of the virus move to the cell's membrane until the cell finally dies and releases them out into the body, where they go on to infect other cells. Okay, this is the continuation. So the respiratory tissues swell up and become inflamed. The inflammation usually heals within a few weeks. Okay, as the virus moves through the respiratory tract and into the bloodstream, the first symptoms begin to emerge. The replication process continues for up to several days until the body's immune system begins to fight the virus off. Okay, so here's a picture of how we can track the influenza virus. So, first of all, the virus enters the respiratory tract. So somebody coughs or sneezes on you and you breathe it in. And then it goes down into the bronchioles, into the lungs. So after entering the respiratory tract, the virus starts to replicate. That's where it starts replicating itself. And everything starts to become swollen. Okay, so then once in here, you see that the little cells start to replicate itself. And from there, it goes out into the bloodstream. So inside the respiratory system, the virus enters the bloodstream. The first symptoms begin to show. So once it has entered here, gotten into the lungs, infected the lungs, and then gotten into the bloodstream, that's when the signs and symptoms start to show. So by that time, it's like, yeah, full-blown virus, and you're sick. You know, you're cold and you're just sick. Okay, So the flu symptoms are coughing, sneezing, fever, body aches, runny nose, congestion, tiredness. The tiredness is because, remember, it's all in your bloodstream. It's not just in the lungs. It's everywhere. So these symptoms also are uncomfortable. They're generally not dangerous, but the flu also weakens the immune system, leaving it vulnerable to more serious infections. So once you develop the flu, you're more likely to get, like, pneumonia, end up in the hospital. That's why so many elderly people die from it. Okay. So the high-risk individuals, like I said, are the elderly and the young, so the little kids, because their immune system is very weak. So high-risk individuals in particular are susceptible to serious complications such as the bacterial pneumonia, the dehydration, sinus problems, and ear infections, primarily in children, and then worsening of pre-existing conditions such as asthma or diabetes. So if you have asthma and you end up developing any type of the virus or a cold or anything, then you're going to be really sick. And so what is the flu vaccine? From your body's perspective, a flu shot looks a lot like an oncoming case of the flu, made from weakened flu viruses. The flu vaccine triggers our bodies to pump antibodies and immune cells into the bloodstream. This enables our bodies to mount a fast defense against real flu viruses. Do you guys understand what the flu virus is? What the flu vaccine actually is?
It's a little bit of the virus. Your immune system catches up, like it knows what to look out for.
Very good. So here's a little picture to help you kind of understand more. So here's a weakened form of the disease germ. It's injected into the body. So it's a weakened form. So it's not like a full-blown virus like you typically would get. So it's a little virus. And then here's our little antibodies. The body makes antibodies to fight these invaders. So as the virus is in, our invaders start kicking in and start attacking it. So if the actual disease germs ever attack the body, so if you get the flu vaccine and then you get the flu, our little antibodies are going to be ready to fight that off because they already recognize it. right? Because we've already showed it what the weak form of it was, so we're ready, our body's ready to fight it. So the antibodies will destroy them really fast. So instead of getting the flu for like 10 days, you'll probably get it for like 2 days. So you said you got the vaccine? So you'd be protected. Did you get the vaccine? Did you get the vaccine? You think, but you're not sure? Did you get the vaccine? Twice?
No, not.
You don't know? Okay, and that's okay. Okay. Okay, so who should get the vaccine? After, you think everyone should get the vaccine?
Well, if they're not cured yet, they should get it.
Okay. I think so too. I think everyone should get the flu vaccine. Once you understand how our antibodies work against the flu and how it protects us, it makes sense. It makes more sense. So, that's the end of our presentation. So, next year, like when we're able to get the flu vaccine, would you guys be more willing to get the vaccine? After learning this information, or would you still be hesitant in getting it? Because a lot of people don't get the
I
flu
still
vaccine.
don't like the shots.
Okay.
It's not the shots I'm worried about. It's just like I've never had a problem getting the flu, so I don't even get the vaccines. And without the vaccines, I still don't get the flu.
Okay. Well, that's good because your immune system's so strong. Right. But instead of getting sick for 2 weeks, it's better to get sick for only 2 days, or sometimes even less. You can kick it off, especially when you're young, like your guys' age. I mean, you can fight off a lot of stuff. But the valley air is so dirty that we have to do everything we can to protect ourselves. So, but thank you guys. Do you guys have any questions? No? Do you?
No.
Okay.
Point me out.
Well, you gave me that look, so I was like, do you have any questions? Okay, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So where will I pick up my check?